Two kinds of guitar players in this world, those who love relics and those who hate them. I'm going to reveal to you all just which of those kinds of people I am today, right here on GearGasms. Hey everybody, welcome to GearGasms. I'm your host, Alan Barnes. Today, we're going to take on a topic that's almost always controversial when people get discussing relics in terms of relic guitars on the interwebs. They go fast and furious at one another. Lots and lots of digital anger flies back and forth between the two sides. Now, if you don't know what a relic guitar is a new guitar that is purposely made to look old and used and damaged. But first, if you're new to this channel, please like and subscribe. I'll try not to let you down. Now, as we get started, the relic phenomenon is not simply just relegated to guitars. All kinds of things get relic. We've seen it in the stores. You see the jeans with the holes already ripped in them. You see these other garments like shirts and stuff that are supposed to look relic. They're supposed to look aged. For an example, this t-shirt I've got on, I'll stretch up so you can see it. This is an actual Kiss concert t-shirt from 1996. And if you look at it, it's not in terrible shape. It's been washed, it's been worn for 23 years. The black is not terribly faded. The picture is still intact, the graphic. Now I'm going to show you a fake relic t-shirt, and boom, here's an example of a relic concert t-shirt, as you can see. Can you see that? It's supposed to look faded, the graphic. This thing is supposed to look like maybe it's been washed a million times. And you lie to your friends and you tell them you were at that monstrous and amazing Led Zeppelin concert in 1977. Now when it comes to guitars, I'm going to start off by telling you what I like about relics. I appreciate the artistry and the craftsmanship that goes into creating one of those things. It's endlessly fascinating to me. They yellow some of the plastic parts just slightly. They age the metal. They make it look pitted, slightly rusted. Without a doubt, it's a work of art. Now, because of all that work, a really good relic is super, super expensive. And what's one of the reasons that relics are out there and that people would buy one over an actual old guitar that's been naturally aged? Because those old, actual, naturally aged guitars are even more expensive. Now, if you like the way they look and you've bought one or you've reliced one yourself, God bless you. I'm not mad at you. But if you buy a relic to fool other people and to impress people and to make sure you're photographed with it on your Insta feed and you're going to your gigs playing it and you're going to your jam sessions playing it, trying to show off for all the other people about how you have this god-awful expensive vintage guitar, then you are a poser. It's like stolen valor. If you're rocking some kind of paramilitary uniform just because you like the look, you dig the camo, you want to recreate the Janet Jackson Rhythm Nation tour look, that's cool. But if you're putting the fake military garb on so you can get the free coffee at the McDonald's, or somebody will let you board a plane first before them, and people are coming up to you and either giving you money or thanking you for your service, then that is called stolen valor, and it's against the law for a good damn reason.
Well, you have Army ACUs on.
Don't worry about it.
No, not to worry about it?
I went to church.
That is my uniform, sir.
That's mine too.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
Can I see your ID card?
Let me see your ID card.
Sir, take off my uniform.
Quit it.
Take off the uniform.
Quit it.
Look, you need to take off my uniform.
Call the cops.
So with relics, if you're out there trying to pretend that you're something you're not, and we all do to a certain extent, it's kind of not cool at that point. And the reason is, the reason relics are cool, real relics, really old guitars are cool, because they've been played for tens of thousands of hours. They've traveled around the world. They have vibrated and made music for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Those are glorious things, but your fake relic hasn't been a goddamn place, except your bedroom. Now, we've all pretended to be older than we are at some point in our lives. That's just a natural part of growing up. more than one of you out there has probably created a fake ID with perhaps a wildly fake name on it to get into a bar when you're underage. I get it, but pretending a guitar is older than it is, I just don't understand it. So while I'm talking about relics, we'll put some examples on the old magic green screen over here, some really, really well done relics. Now, as you can see, some of that is really, really amazing. The detail is pretty crazy. I'll put a couple examples of actual relics up there so you can see the most extreme examples of guitar relicing that happens naturally. The first and perhaps most famous really relic guitar is the Stevie Ray Vaughan's #1 Strat, as you can see back there. And of course, Eddie's original Frankenstrat guitar, cigarette burns all over it. Those are examples of real players doing real damage to guitars over the years and turning them into what we now call relics. Now, I'm gonna put some shit up there on the green screen that are not good relics. Relic trend #1 that I despise is the relic over refinish. Let me give you a human example first before we get into that. People get reliced just as a natural part of aging, and some of them refinish. For example, this here is Pamela Anderson when she was new out of the box. And this is Pamela Anderson after being reliced. Now, sometimes them celebrities, they got all that money, they get refinished. It's like a new paint job on a guitar. This is Pamela Anderson after a refin. You need another slowish example of new versus relic versus refin. I present to you Exhibit B. Jenna Jameson. This is Jenna when she was brand new, straight out of the box. She still had that new porn star smell. This is Jenna Jameson after having been reliced. That is a very extreme relic. It's not a light relic. Heavy duty relic. And thankfully she's got a few nickels in her pocket because this is Jameson with a refin. Now ladies, I haven't forgotten you. I don't like being sexist, even though I am sexist. It's just that I don't like being sexist. But here's Mickey Rourke when he was brandy new. Fresh off the factory floor. Here's Mickey Rourke post-relic. There ain't a refin in Mickey Rourke because he's been relic to the point where that I just don't think there's anything anyone can do to fix. Since we've talked about refinishing, a popular relic is to take and they make up sort of an imaginary story for the guitar in that first it was a sunburst and then somebody didn't like it and they painted over Olympic white, and now we've reliced half the white back off so you can see the sunburst finish underneath, and even the sunburst finish underneath is started to wear so you can see some wood. And again, it's really creative. I think it's really killer. That doesn't happen in real life. GearGasms number of the week is 2. That's how many porno films made at home by Pamela Anderson. I've seen them both. The Tommy Lee one I could kind of get behind, although it really gets on my nerves and it's really a buzzkill when they keep calling each other baby and lover all the time. Kind of makes me sick, but the dude can steer a boat with his wing-a-lang. Mad props for that. But the Bret Michaels thing, have you seen that? It's a tripod shot, single camera, not particularly well lit. There's some candles in the scene. The candles, for whatever reason, tend to flare up and die down. It really distorts the focus. It's really hard to see. The camera angle is maybe a little better than the Pam and Tommy Lee, but it was still oh so disappointing. I give it 2 out of 5 stars. You want more example of clothes that have been reliced and why it's not a good thing? Back to the ladies, I'm going to serve you up this. This is a picture of a dude, presumably, in a brand new, very clingy, tight pair of white briefs. You like that? I know you do. Let's take a look at the Relic version of what he's got on right here. Oh my God. Would you buy that? Bet you wouldn't. Would you pay extra for it? Well, maybe some of you would, because there's kind of a market for that. We won't get into that. But I'm sure if you Google you and that's your thing, I'm sure you can buy it. There's probably an Etsy shop for that. Now, a lot of people, they'll take a guitar maybe they don't really give that much of a crap about, and they'll do a Relic themselves. And I think that's really cool. If it's a way that you can get into a guitar that you weren't really that into, and you can have some fun experimenting, relicking with it, knock yourselves out. But here's the problem trying to take a guitar that wasn't designed to be reliced and relicking it. Nitro versus poly. Back in the 50s, the clear coat that they sprayed on the guitars at the Gibson company and at the Fender factory, they were nitro. The thing about nitro is it sort of yellowed as it aged. It wasn't really hard, so things got dinged easily, they got pitted easily, and it naturally sort of checked in sunlight and aging. Modern guitars, poly. That's a really hard, really durable, much thicker material, and it's not going to age and check the same way as a nitro finish. It's just not. Another problem with some of these Relic guitars, especially people who do them on their own, and I see them for sale on eBay and Reverb a lot, is going too far with a Relic. Going way the hell out in left field. Natural wear in places where your body touches the guitar, I get that. But making it look like it was drugged behind a truck through the sand by some ISIS fighters who were going somewhere looking to blow up some freedom, that's not realistic, bro. It doesn't look good. Now, just to make sure that you don't think I'm picking on people, here's me, new out of the box, kind of fresh still, pretty new, not a whole lot of wear and tear. Still got that new GearGasms smell. And then now here's me now, and here's me now. Which one's better? Don't answer that. And while we're on the topic of really bad and really unrealistic relics, I mean, I'm talking about people taking guitars that did not exist back in the 50s and 60s and making them reliced. HSS Strat. Oh, they didn't have that in 1963, Junior. What's the point of that? 80s neon Dayglow shredders, Ibanez gems that have been reliced. What the hell is up with that? That's just stupid. And there's a lot of modern guitar companies out there that make guitars now. And of course, they're completely uncreative because they've jumped in on the whole Relic thing too. Friedman guitar didn't even exist 10 years ago, probably. They've only been around a few years. So what are you trying to do with an obviously new brand of guitar that's just came out, yet yours is Relic and it looks like it's 50 or 60 years old? May God have mercy on your soul. Well, what did we learn today? We learned that with few exceptions, yours truly thinks Relics are really stupid. We also learned that Relic guitars are worth a lot more money if it's real wear and tear and aging. They have stories to tell. They've been around the world. There's a lot of history about those guitars, and that makes that really cool. We also learned that when new Relics hit the market, they're awful expensive too. Not just because they're more desirable, but because of the amount of work that goes into creating something like that. And again, I'm not wearing a hat, but my hat's off to you. We also learned that people go through the natural phases like guitars of being new, and then they age and get reliced. And some of them, if they got some money, they get refinished. But no matter how much money you have, it's just going to get reliced again. And it's probably going to look worse than if you just left it the hell alone. As always, a thank you for your time. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe. I really need subscribers. If you click the notification bell, you won't miss a second of this weekly stupidity I put out on the internet. Have fun in the next 7 days, but whatever you do, I really hope to see you here again next week on GearGasms.